Hello, my name's Gavin. This is Genre Books. It's Tuesday. It's Tag Tuesday. The tag today is the YouTube Watcher tag, created by and I was tagged by Ridiculous a few weeks ago now, so time I got round to it. The premise is pretty simple. A lot of us spend a lot of time watching BookTube videos, but it is not the only thing available on YouTube, and quite possibly not the only subject you use BookTube for. So what else do we watch? But before that, and YouTube related, a quick PSA based on another sort of tag I saw last night from Paul at SF Book Cave. So this is a channel that has some really good science fiction book hauls. I do worry sometimes he's going to injure himself in an avalanche of books. If you see the channel, you'll know what I mean. But he was posting about something which has turned up in YouTube circles in the last week or so, and that is the whole monetization debacle. For full disclosure, I am monetized, so this will not directly affect me. Anyone who is available to be monetized should take that option now. It's not life-changing money. It's pin money, pocket change. But every dollar you get is a dollar that is not going to the massive corporation Alphabet. And corporate spite's a pretty good motivator. And you ought not to feel any guilt or compunction to not receive this money, because as petty, as small amounts as they may be, no amount, it seems, is too petty or too small for the owners of YouTube, because what they're doing is they are upping the threshold to be monetized from 4,000 hours in a year watched to 8,000 hours. So a doubling of the requirement. I do remember the grind to get to 4,000 hours. It was not fun. Had it been 8,000 hours, it would have been significantly more difficult. And I think this might backfire a bit on YouTube. Yes, they will keep those small amounts of money because they're going to be running ads on things. But what they will miss is lots of new blood coming onto the platform, or getting the wrong kind of new entrant to the platform. New entrants who are looking at this as a way of a separate stream of income. Firstly, they are misguided. Secondly, they are creating content that panders to that lowest common denominator. Lots of people go around saying, find your niche, or sorry, for US viewers, niche. But those of us who are in true niches find that there is not a huge amount of audience. That's what a niche interest is. There is attrition on BookTube, and therefore I assume YouTube. People take sabbaticals. People take breaks. People close their channels. People pass away. You need the new entrants always to keep the whole thing going. And this is going to dissuade some people. Anyway, lecture over. What Paul suggested, and if this gets traction, this would be quite good, is for people who are not yet monetized, on your title just include the initials NYM. If people search for that keyword, then they will find people who are not yet monetized. They can watch some of their videos and help them towards that goal, because this 8,000 hour limit does not come in until next February. That will help some people get to that threshold, which is a good thing. But a secondary benefit would be, if enough people do this, someone at YouTube is going to see that as a searchable term and start boosting that term, and more people will end up watching those videos. Public service announcement over onto the prompts proper, and the first is still literature related, so other book channels. So I'm not going to talk about BookTube. I will use the rest of my time talking about some other channels and still manage to leave somebody out. So where else do I get my book fix from on YouTube? Higher education establishments are quite good. So lectures or discussions recorded by universities. Lots of lectures and seminars are now recorded. During lockdown, obviously lots of discussions and symposiums were on Zoom when they otherwise would have been in person. So just pick a writer or a subject. There are some institutions, Library of Congress, Gresham College, Yale, who do a good job, but plenty of other institutions do this. So that's fun. They also sometimes have interviews with authors, and many of the sort of like genre conventions now have interviews with authors as well. Those ones I don't watch quite as often because I like to go back and watch the very old stuff. But the general theme there is, you either want to hear it from the horse's mouth, the authors themselves, or from qualified people in the field. Prompt number 2, film and television. I'll start with a general rule. Nothing modern, certainly nothing current. There is a lot of negativity on YouTube. Negativity does seem to sell. I try not to be negative. I'm grumpy and increasingly curmudgeonly. That's not the same. You have YouTube presences who I think are defined by the things that they love, and you have an equal amount, it looks, of YouTube channels defined by the things that they hate, and I don't have any time for the second category. What I do watch are silent movies and Western movies, not religiously, but from time to time. So there are channels like Cult Cinema Classics, Early Cinema History, old films and stuff, timeless classic movies, real classics, Pizza Flicks, Absolute Westerns, and Western Central. And again, I'm going for the primary sources there. These are the movies themselves. For commentary, I suppose I do watch some, but again, not a lot, and mostly about the older stuff again. Every single sci-fi film ever. The Overlooked Hotel, Sirius Feather, Northern Disclosure, the BBC Archive. What's not to like? The greatest broadcasting company in the world. And also ITV Retro. Oxide Ghosts for something a little bit more niche, or stateside, someone like PBS have a presence on BookTube. Use it. Prompt number 3, sports and games. Well, this is quite easy because there's not a lot of it. If it's cricket, yes. If it's cycling, it has to be the Tour de France. So those would be 2 channels I'd recommend: the English and Wales Cricket Board and the Tour de France official YouTube channel. The Tour de France is only going to take 3 weeks out of your life, and the cricket is sporadic, so it does not take a lot of your time to watch either of those 2 channels. And the rest of it I can gleefully ignore. No commentary, no more football. Obviously when the World Cup comes along, yes, But I can't be dealing with all of the drama and nonsense of the Premier League on an annual basis, so I don't pay attention to that anymore. Social sciences is prompt number 4. So, for me, that is just lots of history, really. And you have to be careful where you go to for your sources. So again, using lectures from higher education establishments is a good starting point. If you're watching history documentaries, make sure they are from reliable resources. There is an awful lot of nonsense out there, and anything which remotely smacks of AI is not legitimate, in my opinion. For some particular recommendations, I couldn't think of a better way to spend an hour than by watching one of Kenneth Clark Civilization episodes, all of which are on YouTube. Yes, they're a bit old-fashioned. Some of the scholarship may be a little out of date, but he loves his subject, and the colours, the presentation, the access to the artworks are extraordinary and vivid. For another idiosyncratic personal style, you could do worse than find a Jonathan Meades documentary on there as well. So those would be my recommendations for social sciences. Prompt 5, science and nature. Not really. I wouldn't click away, but they're not something that I search for. Prompt number 6, humour. Again, mostly old stuff. I don't watch an awful lot of stand-up. Give me an old show like Yes Minister any day. Possibly a fair amount of political humour. That kills 2 birds with 1 stone. I can catch up with some of the salient points going around at the moment and try to laugh it off when it is horrifically depressing all round. Prompt number 7 is the last prompt and it's just called etc. So I suppose that's everything else. Well, what this list was missing was what I use YouTube for probably more than anything else other than books, and that is music. So where to begin with this? It's great for finding or coming across obscure albums. The band Suburban Lawns is one I found through YouTube. But then I found that the singer from Suburban Lawns had gone to music conservatoire afterwards and recorded an album which is astonishingly unlike anything she did with her band. Is more sort of a minimalist feel and goes on for 50 minutes or so and is not available anywhere except on YouTube. There is a channel that just goes around finding old ambient tapes, so things that are never going to appear on Spotify. Very niche stuff, some of it objectively terrible, but occasionally a gem to be found. Remixes. They often do not appear on streaming services because these were the B-sides or C-sides or D-sides from EPs and extended singles from the 90s and early 2000s when people still bought physical media. This is one of those flourishings of collaboration which largely has died away and deserves a comeback, but they're on YouTube. Where else would I have found early footage from a Israeli black and white TV station of an early opera huzzah. Where but YouTube would I find footage of Jane Mansfield playing the violin? And then there are the music documentaries. Again, be careful of your sources, but some people really know their stuff. And then there are the live performances. I do occasionally try to keep up with the modern music world. I don't have much success, and increasingly fewer successes each year. But the channel KEXP has a great track record of just getting bands in to do sessions, and it's interesting. They were the first on the Angine de Poitrine kick, I believe. I think it may even be KEXP that sent those two weirdos viral. But they also had a session with someone I'd never heard of before called Litronic, who's got a fantastic tune. So it's helpful for that. Actually, wait a minute. I mean, YouTube is just, what the BBC radio used to be. But I'll take it where I can get it. For the old stuff as well, it's quite good for live performances. Something like the Midnight Special. Something I will definitely have missed out on. Have been in the wrong generation and the wrong continent. I've now got access to. As well as other people's music, it helps in finding tools that I could use to do my own. So it's good for making music. Lots of demonstrations about plugins and DAWs and what have you. So I'd spend a lot of time looking at music stuff on YouTube. What else under etc.? How about blocking stuff? That's a fun thing to do on YouTube. Go through the shorts and block everything that is vaguely AI or just nonsense. Block anything that is sponsored. Make this a bit more of a level playing field. Block anything that is hateful or inauthentic. It's a good 5-minute stress relief just to block some channels. And hopefully, I mean, this is a little bit of throwing stones against the tide, but it might stop the nonsense that you're exposed to in the future. And on that point of negativity, I'll leave it there. Thank you to Ridiculous for creating the tag and for tagging me. I will tag some people below the line. And until next time, bye.
In the two bowls, so there is just room.
The way Greg asked him to play that, you'd think he was 3 feet away from it.
Quality of these guys, you wouldn't expect him to miss either, to be honest.
Well, he's very close to splitting the two red balls and getting to the jack. That's what the target is. Oh, look at this. Oh, that is ridiculous. That is just so good. It is ridiculous. What a ball. Oh. That was outrageous.